What's the prevailing emotion after that, Steve?
Pretty serious innings. I thought we were in a pretty good position at one point there, with them needing around 2 a ball. Thought 160 was about par on that wicket, and it just took a seriously unbelievable innings under pressure by Virat Kohli to get his team over the line.
Was there anything Nathan could have done in that second last over, mate, or was that the kind of form?
He perhaps could have taken the pace off a bit more. I think he did it 2 balls, and Virat didn't get any bat on both of those, and then he seemed to bowl more on pace and went to the boundary. It just looked like anything Virat was going to do at that point was going to go to the boundary. So it was a serious innings, and hats off.
What do you sort of say to Nathan after going through something like that?
Oh, it's always difficult. I think you've just got to keep your head up, and we always face these sort of situations in cricket. It's the game. You don't always come off. You just have to learn from it and try and get better.
Well, Steve, just your own wicket. Snicko didn't show anything. You looked pretty disappointed at that point.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I hit that, but that's the game of cricket. I got given out, so that was the umpire's call, and that was it. So it was a bit disappointing, but that's the game of cricket.
Just you didn't bowl Adam Zampa out. What's the reason behind that?
I just thought at that period of time they were just starting to go. I thought the quicks could do the job bowling the ball into the wicket, like they did so well in the last game. It just wasn't to be tonight. It was the Virat show. He really took over, and to get 80 not out of 50 balls on a wicket like that was quite slow, and the ball was quite soft at the end there. It was quite remarkable.
If you had your time again, would you bowl him though?
Sorry?
If you had your time again, would you toss the ball over to him?
I probably would now, yeah. We lost the game, so probably need to do something different. Yeah, I guess that was just my gut feel at the time, and it's not always going to be right. But that's just the way I saw it out there at that time.
It was a pretty spectacular innings, but is there a sense of regret in that middle overs that even another 10 runs that you guys couldn't get?
Yeah, we probably did let ourselves down a little bit in the middle overs again. That's one area that, particularly in these conditions, that we haven't done so well at consistently, and that was something that we've worked really hard on. So we probably did let ourselves down a little bit there, losing a few wickets in clumps and not being able to get that sort of partnership together to get that score up probably just above par to 170 odd. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I think all the players will learn a lot from this World Cup, playing in these conditions again. It's very valuable, and yeah, hopefully we can continue to learn and get better.
Was it impressive performance from Shane Watson with the ball and that catch? Can you just give us your thoughts on his final game?
Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good last game. Obviously, there's no real fairy tales in sport, so or very often. So it was a bit disappointing, but Shane gave his all like he did every game for Australia. I thought he bowled beautifully tonight, and it looked like he was 25 again taking that catch. So it was great for him to be able to do that. Just obviously disappointing in the result.
Just to continue on that, both teams slowed down in the middle overs. So how difficult was it to bat in the middle overs in particular, although it was a slow wicket throughout?
Yeah, the wicket just sort of was a little bit slow, and the ball got chewed up pretty quick, so it was quite soft. Although it didn't look too soft when Virat was hitting it. But yeah, it was tough to bat in those middle overs. I thought they timed their run chase really well in the end. They were running lots of twos, hitting the fielders in the outfield and putting pressure on. That's probably where the game sort of turned. They were able to get a lot of twos and put us under a bit of pressure.
Smith.
One more win in 2014. You sense improvement in the team and the format, and do you think you guys are almost ready to make a big statement in T20 cricket?
I hope so. I strongly believed in the 15 guys we had here to do the job in these conditions. I think we let ourselves down against New Zealand. We probably should have won that game. To lose that by 8 was quite shattering. and then we were always sort of chasing our tail from there. We had to win every game that we played, and in T20 cricket that's quite hard sometimes. It's quite a fickle game, and all it takes is one player going off like tonight to turn the course of a game. But I think, as I said, I think the exposure to these conditions and what we've faced over the last couple of weeks, it's been a great learning curve for all of our players, and hopefully we can continue to improve and get better in these conditions.
Steve, you're talking about what the players can learn, but do you think now, looking back on the campaign overall, that Australia as an organisation, cricket organisation, can learn a bit perhaps about the lead-in to a tournament like this and the preparation you guys had and the amount of players that were used? Is that something that everyone can learn from?
I think our preparation was fine. I don't think we can use that as an excuse. We played 3 T20 matches in South Africa where they tried to make the pitches replicate these conditions as much as possible, which we were thankful for. And yeah, we had a warm-up game when we first got here against West Indies, so I think our preparation was fine. I guess it was just the execution of our skills out in the middle that let us down.
Just on that, so just with all the players that were used as well, and I guess going back, looking over the whole last year leading into a tournament like this where there weren't very many games and so many personnel used.
Well, you have to try and find your best 15, particularly for these conditions. And as I said, I believe we had the 15 to go well in this tournament. We just let ourselves down in key moments.
Smith, in this situation, do you think Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar comparison is appropriate?
Sorry?
In these circumstances, Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar comparison is appropriate?
I think they're different players. I think Virat Kohli's an extremely talented and very good player, and he has been for a long time. I think you just have to see the way he played tonight. He timed his chase to perfection, and he's done that so consistently in T20 cricket. I think he averages 60-odd chasing, which is quite remarkable. He times it really well, and tonight was just another example of that. He played beautifully, and hats off to him.
Steve, do you think with your batting, I guess tonight, for instance, maybe you guys were, I guess, a little bit too heavy with the all-rounders, and maybe lacking that extra experienced batsman, maybe like a Bailey or someone like that?
I think we had the right mix. I think it was just some of our execution. The middle overs, I think, is one part of our game that we've been trying to work on, and we know when we get that right that they're a very dangerous side. I guess for us it's just about making sure we're able to find a way to play those spinners in the middle overs. I guess getting off strike, not chewing up too many dot balls, and I guess just waiting for a ball to hit to the boundary. It's tough to do in these conditions. They're very foreign to us, but we've still got to find a way to be successful as individuals, and it's up to each individual to do it differently. We all bat differently. It's just about finding a way to do it successfully.
Last ball in the middle there.
You're right. You're right, I can hear.
Were you disappointed the way Dhoni sort of went up for that caught behind off you? Like, did you think that played a part, or was it just disappointment in the umpire decision?
Not sure. He might have heard something. I certainly didn't feel anything, but that's the game of cricket. I'll move on from that. I'm sure that'll happen again in my career, so I'm not too worried about it, and got to move on.
Like, did you feel like you could really contribute there? I mean, it was a situation, I suppose, similar to the other night where were you sort of looking forward to that challenge?
Yeah, I was. I felt pretty good batting against Pakistan the other day, and I guess T20 cricket you can get a bit of momentum, and I felt like it sort of switched a little bit for me. So it was a little bit disappointing, but as I said, that's the game of cricket, and it won't be the first time, and it's not the last time it'll happen. So I'll move on, and that's it.
Hi, Steve. The kind of start you have got in the early by Khwaja and Finch, were you satisfied with the score?
Yeah, I thought we started off really well. There was a great little partnership at the start there. I think, as I said, the middle overs we probably let ourselves down. I thought 160 was around par, but I think if we were able to get a few partnerships together in the middle, we would have been able to get around 170, 175, which would have been very competitive.
Steve, it would appear that considering your performance in the 2020 World Cup over the last 8 years, it would appear that it's easier to dominate in Test cricket, the toughest format, and one-day cricket, again a tougher format, than 2020 cricket. Yes.
I'm not sure about that. It's all international cricket, and we're playing against the best players from around the world. So they all present different challenges. They're all completely different. So obviously we haven't done as well as we would have liked in T20 cricket, but we're still learning, and hopefully we'll continue to get better at this format.
I only meant it's probably more fickle, much more fickle than other formats. That's all I meant.
Oh, it's very compressed, isn't it? So you can see innings like that, and one guy taking the game away from a team, which I think you don't have, I guess, the luxury of doing in the longer formats of the game quite as much. So pretty serious innings from Virat Kohli tonight to take that game away from us.
See, when you spoke about Virat Kohli, the entire innings was full of orthodox strokes. So is it important to send a message to probably the younger kids coming up that you can score runs even in the 2020 format by just playing proper cricket?
Yeah, and I think he's a perfect example of that. He plays good cricket shots, and he's got quite incredible wrists, and he's able to manipulate where he wants to hit the ball, which is a great skill, particularly in this format. But yeah, I think playing good cricket shots is key, particularly on these grounds here in India. If you hit the gaps, the outfield is so fast, the ball generally goes to the boundary. So yeah, orthodox cricket shots are very important. Thank you.
Cameras okay? I would request all of you to check your phones once. It should be on silent and discreet mode. Indian team will be traveling to Mumbai tomorrow, so there will be no practice or no media activity. And as you all know, there will be a lot of questions, but I won't be able to take all of them, so I want to apologize in advance. We'll start with Amit.
I think it was an incredible innings, especially the fact that the wicket was not easy to bat on. Especially the back of the length deliveries, it was quite difficult to get it away. Especially the spinners. The good thing, I don't think they bowled too many spinners, and also to some extent he was hampered. In between, and he had a partnership with UV. UV twisted his ankle, so they couldn't convert those 1.5 runs into twos, and to some extent because of that, we had to chase maybe one run per over more than what we would have liked. But I think it was tremendous batting effort by him. Superb batting, especially the areas where you want to score runs, where you want to play the big shots. And I feel more often than not, it is all about the selection of shots and the execution of shots. So I felt overall he was very good, and also the running between wicket, it really helps because you take minimum risk when you can run fast.
Mahi, congrats. It's quite extraordinary that Kohli is such a calm individual, which obviously reminds people of yourself. What is it about him that he remains so calm? The whole stadium was shouting and...
Did you say Kohli was calm or I am calm?
Yeah, he is becoming more and more like you. The whole stadium was shouting and, well...
No, that's you are in the best position to enjoy, when everybody is enjoying and having fun and celebrating the success that the team is having, you want to, click a picture of it and put it in your mind, because you won't really repeat it. You can obviously celebrate in the dressing room with your teammates, because at the end of the day, it's all about the team. Not everybody will score. Few of us will have bad days, but it's a responsibility that individuals take, to take that or make that extra effort and win the game, because of which you'll play one more game and you'll have one more chance, to prove yourself for the team and for the country. So it's a good thing, to have, and where it will also help him is, when the game goes on till the last over, because a lot of things pop into your head at that point of time, and when you're calm, it just helps you to pick the right one. It's not always that you pick the right one, but at least you are in a state of mind where you can pick the right decision, thinking about it, and you're not too impulsive about it. So it's definitely a good quality, but he'll always be the same. He will be an aggressive character who will be willing to take on challenges, and he'll be aggressive on the field, but he'll also improve, and that's what I felt is great. He's shifting in the right direction, but he's a tremendous character, and I feel he shouldn't lose his own character. That's what his strength is. So he's just batting amazingly well, and he's fantastic. He's fit, he can field anywhere, and at the same time he can run hard.
MS, when UV was hobbling in the middle, what was the kind of instructions, or what was the plan in the because he was not running hard, to call him back or to some instructions? It's
an easy decision, because you have two individuals who know the best over there. Yuvraj Singh has played more than 250 ODI games. Virat Kohli is the vice captain of the team, so you have to leave it to them to take the best decision at that point of time, because from outside you may crib about okay, maybe he's not able to take that extra double run, but also one of the fact is he has already played 9 to 10 deliveries, and the leg spinner was bowling, so he still had that chance of hitting a 6, just standing there and delivering it. So it was left up to them as to what was the best decision at that point of time, and that's where experience counts. When you have people who are batting, who are experienced, and in the middle, they can take their own decision as to what is the best when it comes to the team.
धोनी साहब, बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको. कलकत्ते का गेम, बाद में बैंगलोर, अनबिलीवेबल, यहाँ के कहने जवाब भी कुछ नहीं है इसका आपके लिए, बोलने के लिए भी मुझे. इसके बाद जो आज के जैसे युवराज की कुछ पोजीशन खराब है खेलने के हिसाब से, कुछ अपने ओपनिंग बैट्समैन भी काम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं कुछ कारण से, कुछ ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ टीम में बदलाव करना चाहिए क्या आपने?
करना चाहिए का नहीं पता, हो सकता है मे बी, बिकॉज हमें विकेट वहाँ पे देखना होगा किस तरीके का विकेट है। युवराज सिंह की बात की जाए तो इंजरी उसकी देखनी होगी कि इंजरी किस प्रकार की है, एंड स्पेशली कल सवेरे और मे बी आफ्टर क्लोज टू 24 आवर्स में आपको एक अच्छा ओपिनियन मिलता है इंजरी के बारे में। सो एज ऑफ नाउ आई वोंट से विल सी द विकेट देखेंगे, विल डेफिनेटली लाइक टू कीप अ रिप्लेसमेंट रेडी, जैसा कि अभी आप देखें भूवी हमारे साथ ट्रैवल कर रहा है, so that the guy is in touch with cricket, he practices with us, and he's in that mental space जहाँ पे अगर immediately उसको मैच खेलना पड़े तो he is ready to perform. So we'll definitely call for a replacement if the physio says that it is very bad, and we'll take it forward from there.
Kaushik bhai, sir, one question. Kaushik bhai.
After the last game, you spoke about how it was Bumrah's first interaction with pressure. Today also very early in his spell, he was put under pressure. Once again, he came back brilliantly. So what is it that makes these young kids react so well to pressure?
I think the self-confidence in executing or knowing what your strength is, and as I have said, Yorker is something. If you can bowl Yorkers, you can easily fall back to Yorkers. People talk about Malinga. If you see his strength, yes, he swings the new ball, but if somebody goes after him, he's very good with the Yorkers. He has a slightly different action. I think the same is applicable to Bumrah also. He has a different action. And he actually watches the batsman right till the end. There have been quite a few instances where the batsman has gone for the lap shot and he actually bowled a slower delivery, which means he is watching the batsman till the end. And that's what gives him that strength and also the confidence that if needed I can bowl the Yorker. So that's what gives him that confidence to come back and bowl two very good overs for the team. And it really counts on a wicket like this. If you can restrict opposition to 160, especially when in the first 6 they have scored 60 runs, I thought it was a very good effort by the bowlers.
Mahi, you talked about Virat's innings. Can you also talk about your partnership with him in particular? Because when you arrived at the crease, it was like 10 or 11 or maybe even 12 runs needed per over. So you guys broke down into running the singles and doubles.
He still needs to pay to me. I was running his runs. So. But I've said, in the middle overs, if you're a good runner, that really takes a bit of pressure off you, because what you can do is on these bigger outfields, you can. My point of view is also general point of view, because it's not only applicable to me. When I talk about what I do in the middle, it's applicable to everyone, because that's how cricket is played. I'm not somebody who's great. I'm just I play unorthodox cricket. I'm very simple cricket. Push it in the middle, run a 2. If it's in your area, hit a 6. So it is very simple. I'm not someone like Virat who can hit over covers, also mid wicket, square leg, third man. I know my areas, and if it's there, I like to clear the boundary. That's what my strength has been, and in the middle overs, it's all about running between the wicket. If you can take that double, that puts a lot of pressure on the fielders, and that actually pushes the captain to bring the fielder up slowly. You keep bringing them towards you, and then you have the power to clear over their head, and that's what really counts. One boundary, and the captain doesn't know where to have them at the boundary line or up.
I'll take last 2 questions. Gaurav, one question from you. Gaurav.
MS, everyone will talk about his stroke play, but how important is to be fit, running all those twos, and from Virat's point of view and your point of view, how important is fitness to those playing that sort of innings?
I think quite a few middle order batsmen who have been good, they have all been very good runners, right from Michael Bevan to lots of others, who bat in the middle overs, because you have the opportunity of pushing the fielder, especially, the fast bowlers, or every team has fielders who are not the quickest, or fielders who are quick but who don't have a strong shoulder. So you only have a few, like with us, we have a Jadeja who can field anywhere and everywhere. We have a Virat Kohli who can do that. But not every team has like 4 or 5 of them who can, field at important places. And that's where you eye them and say, okay, if it goes there, I'll try to push him, to take that extra run. And if you are able to do that, that puts a lot of pressure on the bowlers, because they have to bowl 10 overs. They are very fit, but at the same time you are making them run in the middle. Usually they bowl in the first 10, a few overs in the middle and at the death. So in between you're making them work hard, you're putting pressure on them, and when the pressure comes in the death overs, that's where they also commit mistakes.
Last question.
Ashish Nehra continues to be good early on and whenever needed. And again, his economy rate was very good. So what's he doing right that he's been so consistent in this tournament particularly?
I think the experience counts, and also he knows his body. He's not someone who's 22, 23. But what's important is when you are over 35, you have to know your body, what your body needs so that you can turn up for the next game and give your best. And that's what really counts. He's somebody who still loves to bowl in the net, but at the same time, he knows that, today I don't want to bowl a single delivery. Also, the experience helps, and at the same time, the execution. He knows what he wants to bowl, and more often than not, he executes well. So it's all about that. You have a clear picture in mind as to this is what I want to execute. In case of Bumrah also, it's very similar. When he comes to bowl the last couple of overs, he knows I'm going to bowl Yorkers and slower ones, if the batsman does something. And they're so good with the execution part. They have that confidence, and game after game, they just build on more and more confidence. So it's good for the side. And also what it does is if Ash bowls 3 overs in the first 6, I can have that one extra over of Bumrah in the death where he bowls 2 overs for me and Ashish bowls 1 over. So it gives me more opportunity to rotate the bowlers, and in different scenarios I can use different bowlers.
Thank you very much.